Do you remember when I said I was writing a script for Avatar and everyone doubted me? No one did. Well, joke's on you! Who am I even picking fights with? I did. Good for me, I guess. And this is it. So sit back, grab some snacks, and let's talk about the best cartoon ever! As I mentioned in the first anime journey video, Avatar was the spark that got me deeper into the anime culture. Even it isn't officially classified as one, the influences are unmistakable. And if you had shown me the Japanese dub first, without any context, yeah, I would have said it looked like a shonen. A young boy travels the world with his friends, trains along the way, fights bad guys, and has the ultimate goal of saving everyone from an evil force. All boxes are ticked, Frank. I think we're good. Broadcast it. Yeah, I know the reasons why it's considered a cartoon, but still, look me in the eyes and tell me it doesn't add up. Hey, how did you start watching it? Now, I didn't watch it like everyone else. Stick with me because I'm going to mention the movie that everyone in the fandom pretends doesn't exist. That's right, I had gone with family and friends to the cinema to watch something I knew absolutely nothing about. So, we sit down and as soon as I see a girl controlling water, a boy controlling air, and the story centered around his journey to save the world, I was hooked. No, you don't understand. It became my entire personality. The world, the power system, I wanted to live in it. This video isn't about the movie, so I won't go into detail. In short, I agree with the general consensus. Having seen the original material, we'll get into that in a second, it didn't do justice in the slightest. It had a few cool elements like Aang's tattoos, US performance, and the music, especially the track that plays when Aang creates the tsunami, that were solid. As a movie on its own, with no source material attached, it would be average. As a live-action adaptation of the show, it was plainly bad, but my younger self didn't know any of that. I had never watched the cartoon, didn't even know it existed, I didn't watch Nickelodeon. Most of my friends weren't into cartoons either, so even though I used to watch Angel's Friends at the time, I never brought it up because it felt childish. It's not that I would have gotten made fun of, it just seemed like everyone else had moved on, so I kept quiet and tried not to watch too many. Stupid me! After the movie, one night, the cartoon was on TV. I watched a single episode and immediately started searching online on my laptop, which connects to the story from the previous video, for all the seasons because I had to know what happened next. What? There's a season 2. Who is Toph? Zuko has a redemption arc. Take my soul and give me everything. This may sound over the top, but it genuinely opened a whole new world for me. The following year, I started high school and suddenly there was another girl who loved the show too. We talked about it all the time. We imagined ourselves as benders, saving the world, and theorized new ways to manipulate elements, like crossover techniques where one element could influence another. It stands among the few series I consider a masterpiece from beginning to end. The character development is phenomenal across the board. Most fans have their favorites. Iroh, Zuko, and Toph are the most popular, but I personally lean towards Katara. Her elements and her character completely won me over. That said, Avatar is the only show where if I put my bias aside, I genuinely can't choose a favorite. There's Aang, strangling under the weight of responsibilities far too big for any child, clashing with his culture and grieving the consequences of decisions he made. Katara, harboring resentment towards the Fire Nation for stealing her mother and taking her father to a war he may never return from, which also applies to Sokka. Also, there's Sokka, driven to protect others so no one suffers like his family did, trying to lead while still being a kid. Toph, fiercely independent, finding against being seen as fragile and proving her strength. Azula, shaped into a monster by abandonment and manipulation. Zuko, on a long, painful journey of redemption and self-discovery, determined not to be consumed by trauma. Iroh, wise and compassionate, always willing to forgive and guide when he sees someone else trying to grow. Every one of them is essential to the story. The main cast is among the best in animation. Only Arcane Season 1 has reached similar heights. Side note, in case someone brings up The Legend of Korra, I am not the biggest fan. Once again, being a sequel made it harder for me to connect from the start. It didn't quite resonate, so I dropped it early in Season 2. I caught parts of Season 3 because I saw Kaya in a compilation video. I had really wanted to see her since her design showed up in Season 1, I think in some panel, but aside from some fight scenes, I couldn't push through. I don't hate it, it just wasn't what I had envisioned, so I let it go. Tenzin was my favorite character though. Alright, that's all I had to say about Korra. Back to The Last Airbender. The very first thing that drew me to the series was the essence of bending. It was so meticulously crafted, the movements of the characters while using it were mesmerizing. Sometimes, while watching cartoons, shows with real actors would start. Apart from series like BTR, iCarly, Victorious, Keenan and Kel, and Drake and Josh, I skipped everything else. If it was an ad, I would skip it faster than Zuko getting sick over leaving the door open for someone else. Those deep in the Avatar lore, you may remember the instructor in Nickelodeon during the ad breaks. Whenever he popped up to explain the style that its bending discipline was based on, I would be glued to the screen. How do I even describe how perfectly each style matched its element, even in a fictional setting? If you ask me which one feels like Earth, boom, I could pick it out immediately. Yeah, I would try to copy the body movements even though I knew nothing would happen. But what if? What if I was a bender deep down? What if one day I made the tiniest motion and a drop of water shifted, or a pebble, or a gust of air? Nah, never happened. The only way to waterbend was during summer vacation, doing the tornado move underwater. But knowing that every bending style was based on real-life martial arts, it made the whole thing feel tangible, believable, even if it wasn't. Of course, Avatar is tied to the spirit world, and one of my issues with the series is that we never explored it enough. On my 57th watch, probably, I noticed that the times Aang had to help spirits or face them were surprisingly few. Besides Heibai and Ko, the face stealer, most spirits didn't create issues or look for aid. And with a war raging for 100 years, you would think more spirits would have tried to cross the veil and steal chaos. To be clear, I don't like when mystical elements are overexplored. It tends to dilute what made them captivating in the first place. Legend of Korra made spirits feel too approachable, like woodland creatures. In Avatar, they were awe-inspiring forces. When Aang merged with the ocean spirit, I didn't think, oh, kaiju moment. I thought, this is the end. Mortals weren't meant to witness this. Our doom is sealed. And I see this not to nitpick, but because I was emotionally invested, I just wanted more of the things that felt so epic. The comics delve into that side more, but for whatever reason, and it's not the format, they didn't quite hit the same for me. Now about the last episodes of the series, I was clenching so hard during those fights. That final Agni Kai, pure perfection. Especially the music, oh my god, it was tearing me apart, Lisa. Zuko's fighting style, Azula's unraveling desperation, Katara's ice trap executed with cold-blooded calculation. Mwah, chef's kiss. Frame it. I want to rewatch it every day. And the final showdown between Aang and Dozai, the chills are real even as I write this. Let me say upfront, if Aang ever shifted from his goal from defeating Dozai to eliminating him, he would have done so, no doubt. In fact, I'll go further. If Aang were the pacifist, he would have been like Yang Sen when push came to shove. That moment when he sliced that bag in half after Appa was kidnapped told me everything. He holds back not because he's weak, but because he refuses to become what he's fighting. I watch it now, and it's plain to see. He constantly tries to maneuver around harming others. As a kid, I didn't fully appreciate that, but as an adult, it clicked instantly. When his back hits that rock and he grabs Ozai's beard and does that air move, probably like what Dr. Strange experienced, had me watching like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, staring down, and then he pulls water from the sea, unleashes this primal screen that has fire erupting out of him, forms an air sphere, and crashes rocks into pebbles. I swear all the noise in my brain went silent. That moment is engraved in me forever. Aang had never been locked in the Avatar state like that before, which makes sense now that he has mastered it, and he was pure terror. This, alongside the time he goes, no, it's not over, and gets dragged underwater by the spirit of the ocean, are my two favorite Avatar moments hands down. Oh, and don't even get me started when Hama bloodbended. I had no idea that was coming. I figured she was behind the disappearances, but I never imagined something like that was possible. And then she bloodbends Katara and I'm losing my mind because holy crap, it was insane. But Katara holds her ground, channels water from the plants like she was taught, counters it, and then Hama retaliates with even more water. And then Katara stops the water. That move was forbidden. Water is supposed to flow, and she stops it like an earthbender. And man, I love this so. Now let's talk about Toph. You know, the greatest earthbender of all time? Yeah, that girl. As a teenager, I didn't vibe with her at first. She felt a bit too much for me. But with each rewatch, I realized that just because she was outside my comfort zone didn't mean she was unlikable. Breaking free from her overprotective family and finally having real friends who let her be herself, of course she was going to shake things up. Honestly, the deeper I got into the series, the more I adored her. Her fight with Dai Li, legendary. She had the most elite earthbenders pinned to a wall, and she was only 11. And then there's Sokka, the perfect comic relief, not because he's goofy, but because he's written brilliantly. He's hilarious, sure, but during the Day of the Black Sun, he goes off. His growth into the leader he aspired to be is seamless and so satisfying. Oh, and Suki, I loved her. Her prison escape and her fight against Ty Lee had me fangirling hard. Nobody else stood up to Ty Lee like that. Hand-to-hand combat in Avatar is rare, and I would 100% beat down for a rematch between the two of them. Now for the prince that everyone is obsessed with, Zuko. Somehow, he went from the character I cared least about to the one with the best redemption arc in animation history. His awkwardness with Team Avatar was priceless, and honestly, we needed more of it. Watching him become friends with a group was one of my favorite dynamics. His life-changing journeys with each one of them, top-tier episodes. I hope Toph gets her moment one day too. Their chemistry was beautifully developed. The only things I wish we got more of, Aang firebending and Iroh sharing any scene with Ozai. Oh, and about that rumor that Iroh was originally going to betray Zuko, so glad they scrapped it. I cannot imagine Iroh doing that. Losing his son completely shifted his worldview. And then there's the Appa episode. Every single time I bawled my eyes out. No kidding, on my next rewatch, I'm skipping it. It hits too hard. As for everything that came after Avatar, the spin-offs, the live actions, it just picked at the cartoon for me. I'm super curious about the upcoming movie with the adult Team Avatar, but I'm trying not to get too hyped. Projects like that sometimes miss the mark with character integrity, but I really hope it lives up to the original. Thanks for watching this video. I know there are many Avatar fans out there, and I hope my slight addiction with the series resonated with you. If it did, don't be shy, hit like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye!